So we've come down today to pay our respects to the Anzacs, and it's only a small group of us here today, with full expectation that the system would send a large unit of police to terrorize us and intimidate us, while all we tried to do today was be respectful at the front of the Shrine of Remembrance. They've sent about possibly 100 police officers to surround us and bully us into leaving the shrine today. Obviously, we don't want to make today political. That's not our purpose today. In fact, our purpose is we are frustrated and upset, I think like most white Australians, at the constant politicization of our sacred holiday. And we believe that the shrine has been turned into a desecration of what our ancestors fought for, their values, and the fact that they fought for a white Australia and they fought for king and country and the British Empire. And they have turned this sacred day and the memory of our ancestors into a political bargaining chip. They've turned it into an opportunity for them to promote their liberal, diversity, multicultural, and sodomy values. And I think our ancestors would be rolling in their graves to know that their deaths have been made in vain by these political prostitutes that wish to turn their memory into political victories for the current ideology, which is hopefully very soon to be replaced with common sense, family values, pro-God, and pro-our European heritage. Today, we've written a letter to the person that's in charge of the Shrine of Remembrance, Mr. Dean Lee, and I'm going to read that out today. Dear Mr. Lee, I, Thomas Sewell, on behalf of the European Australian movement, denounce and condemn in the strongest possible terms your actions as of late with respect to the promotion of degenerate homosexual propaganda at the shrine. The reason why we're saying this is because right now in the shrine they have made a specific section purely to homosexuality. And I think under the tomb of the unknown soldier and the Anzacs that fought and died for this country, that fought and died for a time where it was about traditional values, family and God, I think that they would be disgusted to know that there's a homosexual pride lobby in the bottom of their sacred temple and the temple of our ancestors. The shrine has, since its creation, been intended to be an apolitical sacred site, dedicated solely to commemorating and honouring the brave Victorians and Australians who served their nation in war. It is not a place for cultural Marxist elite like yourself to satisfy their appetite for self-righteousness and politically correct point scoring by deracinating the very foundations of the institution you claim to represent. In July of 2022, under your leadership, you had the audacity to recommend the shrine itself be illuminated in rainbow lights. The machinations that led you to this repugnant idea speaks volumes towards your inability to comprehend not only what the Anzacs stood for, but also what constitutes treason and the betrayal of our nation. Given you have no qualms defiling one of our most sacred sites in Australia in the pursuit of your sinister agenda. Furthermore, you betrayed the legacy of the Anzacs when you allowed the raising of the satanic LGBT barbecue flag on shrine grounds, as well as installing an entire gallery dedicated to the promotion of faggotry. We, as custodians of the true Anzac tradition, and not the warped version we are force-fed today, refuse to accept the incursions of the LGBT mafia into our most sacrosanct of institutions. We echo the actions and beliefs of the former president of the Victorian RSL, Bruce Ruxton, who refused to normalise this sick homosexual culture at the shrine as it offends the values that our diggers fought and died for. We recognise and respect the fact that our white ancestors built and fought and died for a white Australia. They did not die at the Somme for multiculturalism, nor did they sacrifice themselves at Kokoda so their grandsons can befoul their legacy, which is precisely what you have done through your treasonous actions and those that support you. The RSLs are on record passing motions in support of the policy. Furthermore, two or more of our most famous Prime Ministers, Billy Hughes and John Curtin, both invoked the White Australia policy as the prominent reason for fighting in the wars. Charles Bean, the founder of the Australian War Memorial, advocated for the policy, and the diggers fought to that end as they knew in order to preserve their freedom, traditions and culture, they had to ensure that their race survived. The generations of Australians who bled for this land did so not for rainbow flags or rainbow lights, but for the glory of the Australian flag and the white Australian nation. The European Australian movement calls upon the shrine to remove this vestige and manifestation of homosexual perversion from what should be a beautiful, pure and sacred site. We implore that you come to your senses and recalibrate your broken moral compass. Our morality points true north to the pride of Australia and the pride in our forefathers, and a pride in the spirit of the Anzacs, not this sick, satanic degeneracy infecting our societies and usurping our Anzac legend. The term "lest we forget" implicitly emphasizes this sad fate as a consequence. You, sir, have forgotten the Anzacs, but we will not forget you. Regards, our organisation, European Australian Movement. Lest we forget.
Lest we forget.
God-given land of ours, Australia, this proud possession, our own piece of earth, that was built by our fathers who pioneered our heritage. Here in Australia, the land of our birth. God bless Australia! Australia, we treasure love and liberty, our way of life, all for one, one for all. We're a peace-loving race, but should danger ever threaten us, let the world know we will answer the call.